Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's interview. I'm here with the amazing Olwen Jennings. Say hello, Olwen.
Hello.
And Olwen is one of our speakers at RHS. In fact, she is going to open the conference and set the tone for the whole of the day. So we're really, really, really excited. So, Olwen, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Oh, thank you, Carol. Yes, so I'm Olwen Jennings. I'm a spiritual guide and empowerment coach. So I help women, mainly women, connect with kind of their heart and soul so they can be more in alignment with what their soul wants them to do in everyday life. I help specifically women going through divorce and separation, that sort of thing, so that we work with energy to help the healing process as they go. And I'm a spiritual guide because I am hugely spiritual and I believe, in helping people connect with their own intuition, their own guidance, that sort of thing. So it's all really about empowerment and coming from that place of, your essence, really.
So, how did you first connect with the concept of universal energies and what role have they played, in your business journey, in your personal journey, Olwen?
Yeah. So, I've been aware for a very long time that we're all energy first. And that includes the planets, nature, everything. And us as humans, of course. And I realized that the universal energies we're part of the universal energy. So we're each a jigsaw, a part of a jigsaw in each of our lives, but also in a part of the universal jigsaw as well. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out. Um, and whether we realize it or not, we're impacted by what's going on um, in the universe energetically. So that could be things like what's going on with the moon, what's going on with the various planets. It could just be the mood of the collective, because we get affected by the collective mood of the world as well.
Mm.
So I came across it really, or I started to take more notice of it as I connected more and more with my own spiritual guidance team. And it just became more apparent that the more we know about this, the more we can navigate our lives. So our business lives, our personal lives. So, for example, it may well be that you're wanting to do something a certain way in your business or your personal life, but you're not getting anywhere. And that could be because of the energies that are going on at the time. And, or it may well be that you want to be able to take advantage of the positive energies that are going on as well. So it's really about working with the universal energies rather than going against them. And for me, it's definitely helped me trust more in my journey, really trust my intuition, really trust what the universe wants me to offer, as well as what I want to offer in my human role as well.
Mm. So, you mentioned just there a guidance team. Could you just expand on that? Who's in your guidance team? Where did you get it? Can anyone get one?
Where did you get it? I advertised. No,
Yes. Did you do Facebook
no, yes. Well,
advertising?
yeah, we've all got one. So I believe that we're a soul or energy first, and at the moment we're living this human experience and we're learning lessons as we go, etc. So it makes sense that we have friends and family in the spirit world as well as here on this planet. Um, so and you're born with a certain amount of spiritual guides and angels. So, you've probably heard of guardian angel. Everybody's got a guardian angel. There'll also be one major spirit, I call them spirit guides, who will be working with you for this lifetime. And then I got to know them more as I learned how to channel them for my particular team. So in my team include the energy of Christ consciousness, which is Jesus and Mary Magdalene, like not in a religious way, just in their
Mm.
unity and energy that they work together. And then
Mm.
Archangel Michael is one. I also have some galactic guides as well. And you can, I mean, it's learning to connect with them first and foremost in a conscious way. And I teach that. And
Yeah.
also calling them in when you need them because we forget we've got help in those realms, and sometimes if you're working on something and you need a specific guide, you can ask for that guide that can help you the most.
When you call them in, when you call them in for yourself, do you see them? Do you hear them? Is it a sense? What happens?
Yeah. For me, it's so I've got sort of a system that I use, which I mean, it's really instant now. But when I first started doing it, it took a little bit of time. So like almost going into a bit of a meditative state to connect in and to be ready. But um I can hear them and feel them more than I see them.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think everybody's different because everybody will have a stronger sense.
Mm.
Yeah,
And so,
everybody's got one sense that's stronger than the
so
others.
you teach your clients how to connect in with their
Yes.
guidance team. And how do they also hear them and get a sense, or is it different for them?
Yeah, it can be different. A lot of it, as I've just mentioned, is to do with what is their strongest sense. So we all have the
Yeah.
different clair senses. So some people are more visual. Some people just feel it. Um, I always help them to know they're connected by where they might feel it in their body, because it can be really weird.
Mm.
Wondering if you are actually connected and what you're sensing is true. Well, yeah, it's true. Um, so yeah, so occasionally I've helped clients in their businesses when they've wanted to know which guide would be good for them working on a certain project. And obviously I don't know that straight away, so we have to go into like a bit of a journey to find out which guide would be best for that person at the time, depending on what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it just depends. So some people feel it, see it, know it, hear it, but other people as well, it can come through their body. So a lot of my clients are healers, and they literally feel their body becoming more energized.
Mm. It is really fascinating. I love understanding all of this stuff. What are the common challenges that people face when trying to align with the universal energies, and how can they overcome those obstacles if they have an obstacle?
Yeah, I mean it can be tricky. You know, we're taught, aren't we, in this life, how to think, but we're not necessarily taught how to feel. Um, and well, there's nothing wrong with being logical and using our logical brains. That can get in the way. I think that's the most common block. So your mind can talk you out of anything. So I would call that the ego, or part of the ego. So and the ego's got a role to play. It's there to keep you safe and, not make a fool of yourself usually, or, not make the same mistake again, or whatever it is. So for most people, it's overthinking. You know, am I is this true? Am I really connected? Is the information I'm receiving right for me? So it's about helping them go into that position of trust and faith that what they're receiving is accurate for them, um, and helping them to quieten the monkey mind.
Yeah, I suppose because maybe the logical mind will step in and start
Yeah,
saying things.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's how do you know when it's not the monkey mind and it is your guidance team?
yeah. That's the tricky bit. So for people that do have not a problem, do have that issue where their mind is sort of taking over or wandering or whatever. I do advise that, when they're in that kind of state of trying to receive the information, that perhaps they start with writing it down,
Right.
because that gives your logical brain something to do, as in the writing. And you can type it, but personally, I prefer like you've got a pen in your hand.
Yeah.
And that helps them, because sometimes they'll come back to that piece of writing and the words won't be that it's not the way they would have written it.
Mm.
So, it might not be the way they would word something. So that gives them their mind proof, I suppose.
Just going to go off a bit off track here a little
That's
bit,
okay.
but I know that you've got a set of oracle cards.
Yeah.
Did you get guidance from your guidance team about creating those oracle cards, and what did that look like?
Yeah. Um, so for a long time now, I've known that one of my missions is to help women connect with their true selves. As women, I feel like we do everything for everybody else first quite often and forget about ourselves. And especially as we get to a certain age, maybe where, we might turn around and wonder where our life has gone, or what we're here to do next, So that's always been a theme of my work, always. Even when I was a lawyer, that's always been a theme. So when I sat down to start creating my oracle cards, I thought actually they were going to be based on spirit guide messages, because I have a spirit guide hotline, and I thought it would be based on the most common questions people ask, to be honest. But it came through very strongly from my guidance team, so particularly Mary Magdalene, that women needed to be reconnected to who they truly are, and to accept themselves for where they are right now, and to stop believing in themselves. So the deck is spiritual, but it's not too spiritual. It's more about connecting to your intuition and how you feel and accepting yourself. So so the way I started writing my deck was I wrote the guidance booklet first, because often with an oracle card,
Right.
yeah, a guidance booklet. So the messages, what each card would be called, the message that would go with it. Sometimes that was just me and my intuition. Sometimes my guides would come in with a more direct message to the person that would be, using the cards. So that's how that happened. And then I had help with sort of choosing the designs for each card.
Hmm. I mean, that's just fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know that you're going to be bringing your oracle cards to Rich Hot and Spiritual, and I know you're going to be selling them there as well. But how can other people buy them if, after listening to this, they think, "Oh, I want to get those oracle cards"?
Yeah, that's amazing. They can find them on my website, which
Mhm.
is olwenjennings.com, and it's /oracle cards, but they'll see it. It's on the main menu page. Or I have a Thrive card link as
Okay,
well.
good. And how much are they?
They're £33 plus postage and package.
Okay, so are you bringing some with you to RHS?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Save a
Thank
set
you
for
for saying.
me.
Thank you. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Some people have already ordered them and asked me to bring them there as well. So,
Have they? Oh,
mhm.
right. So you're going to be bringing the actual sets with you to RHS, which is brilliant. But if they're buying them off your website, then it's £33 plus VAT. As of today, which is the 15th of November. I mean, if they're listening to this way in the future, that price may have increased. So
It may
just,
well
yeah,
have.
just to
Yeah.
manage everyone's expectations.
Thank you.
So, what are some of the outcomes or transformations that you've witnessed when people fully embrace this alignment process? If that's the
Um,
right way to describe it.
no, yeah, no, it's a good way of describing it. I, because I've thought about this quite a bit, and I feel that they just become freer. Like they are less worried about what other people think about them. They're not looking for outside validation quite so much. So specifically, one of my clients, she was made redundant from her job, and that sent her into, panic, and wondering why her and all the rest of it, which is understandable. But when we sort of looked at the bigger picture, connected in with her guides, my guides, when we did some healing work around it, because there were patterns that were with her from past lives and things like that. And she started to see why it was happening, why it happened, and the benefits actually. And as then she started to really trust, like, whether to feel into. So if she was made another job offer, she would really feel into whether it was the right thing for her, where she is right now, according to what her soul wanted her to do. Because when you're in alignment with what your soul wants you to do.
Mm. Yeah, that must be hard if you don't know.
Yeah.
How do you find out what your soul wants so that
Well,
you can ensure you're in alignment?
yeah. I think first of all, when you're not in alignment, it shows up as things going wrong quite a lot, feeling resentful, frustrated, angry with elements of your life, because deep down they're not quite right for you. And that's your soul and or the universe letting you know that something's not quite right. And you probably know it anyway. But to know properly what your soul wants, there are ways of, as I say, connecting in with me and my spirit team, and I can channel that information, or
Great.
or that I sometimes use the Akashic records as well, and we can
Oh,
go in
right.
and find
Okay.
out where their soul originates from, and
Yeah.
what the soul is here to do that way.
And when you do that for somebody, is it like you just do it in a single session? Is it several sessions? How does that sort of work?
Yeah, it does depend. Quite often we'll get the essential information in one session, but
Right.
then if somebody wants to really work, so find out, what their soul is asking them to do, what their guides are maybe asking them to do, and then they might say, well, how? Because sometimes it feels really strange, because sometimes it's not logical. Well, quite often it's not logical. So then they might need some sessions to help them get into alignment, more into alignment.
I just wanted to ask, you said ascension information. What is that for anyone who doesn't know?
It's so we're all on a spiritual journey, whether we know it or not. And um ultimately our goal, I believe anyway, is to live more from the soul, and that is our ascension journey. So when we really connect in and truly just follow that path, and each time, and it's not an easy journey, because quite often we'll come across energetic blocks
Mhm.
to, why we can't get there. So that's why sometimes they'll need, like, clients would need more than one session, because we might need to clear some of those blocks, and it can often be just stories we've been telling ourselves, or past life interference, or
Yeah.
ancestral.
Yeah, of course, if it's past life, you've got no idea, have you?
No, you
You
haven't.
might have an idea if you've got a block. If
Yeah,
it's past life,
you've got
you've got,
or
yeah,
it's an ancestral challenge. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So what are some of the key practices or steps you'd recommend for tuning into these universal energies? Like, say, for somebody like myself, my background is sales and marketing, but
Mm.
I'm very interested in spirituality and I do a lot of meditation. So what would you suggest?
Well, there's a few ways, and it really depends on the person, because everybody will have a way that suits them best. Meditation for sure, but I would go into meditation consciously intending that you want to connect with the universal energies of the day or the week or the month, whatever you're looking at. You need to make sure you're really grounded as well, and that your energy is protected too. Some people find it hard to meditate. So
yeah.
there are, I often find when I'm out in nature, like just on a dog walk sometimes, but just out in nature, I just feel like my whole energy expands out and I'm more open to just receiving information that way. But the other thing as well is just to get more used to sort of, having a look at, what the moon is doing or what the planets are doing. It's all over. You can find it easily on the, information from trusted sources on the internet. And that just gives you an idea of, that might be why I'm feeling a little bit off kilter today.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I see that your dog, it's his birthday today,
Yes.
Barney.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
He is gorgeous.
Do you think that animals can sense the spirits around us or guides? And do you think they can see them at
Yeah,
all? Because
I totally.
I look after my niece's two dogs
Oh
when
yeah.
she's away on holiday, Saki and Mochi. And they're always like growling at things and they're looking in a specific space. And I think I'm sure that they're seeing something,
Mm.
you know?
Well, I believe they do. And I first we used to have cats. Well, we've always had cats, but that's what we started with years ago, my husband and I. And they would regularly, arch their backs and look at something that wasn't there, depending on what the energy would be, I guess, whether it was good or not so good. So definitely, and they're just more open. Like they don't have that brain. Well, they do have a brain, but they don't have the mind getting in the way. And they're just much more connected. It's like children, like small
Mm.
children, their imaginary friend.
Yeah.
They're just more
Yeah.
open. But definitely, so Barney definitely I think most animals, all animals. But our cat sadly passed away early this year, and I really believe that he still sees him.
Oh.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I did this meditation once. It was the first time the dogs were with me when I did meditation in front of them. And I go really deep.
Yeah.
And of course, my breathing must go very shallow and
Yeah.
slow. And the dogs were like looking at me. I could just feel their eyes
Yes. They're
boring
like, what's she
into.
doing?
And then Mochi came up and with his paw, he pushed me.
Is she
It,
still here?
yeah, she's still alive because I need my food.
Yeah.
But, and then he saw and then he went back. I thought, you've just interrupted my meditation
Yeah.
now.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But they can get used, the more they see you do, they probably get used to it. And then they'd
yeah,
probably enjoy it because they'd feel the energies you're pulling in. So
yeah, exactly. They'd feel it too. Owen, thank you so much for your time
that's
today.
all right. You're
So
welcome.
let's just tell everyone again, if they would like to connect with you, what's the best place for them to go to?
Well, probably the best place to start is my website, which is olwenjennings.com. Everything's on there, really. Or I'm on Facebook, which is Olwen Jennings Hearts, or Instagram, which is just Olwen Jennings.
Mark links below for everyone as well. But Owen, thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to you opening RHS. That is going to be amazing because I completely believe that when you sort of like bring in those spiritual energies into the room, it just actually makes the event so much better. And I know everybody will be really excited.
Yeah,
So,
I'm really looking forward to it too. Thank you
yeah.
for giving me the opportunity to
Oh,
do.
that's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much, Owen.
All right. Thank you,
Bye.
Carole. Bye.